Welcome to the Crystal Self-Healer Podcast. I'm Carissa Weaver. On this podcast, we blend the magic of crystals with the science of psychology to help you break free from chaos, ditch the overwhelm, and master your emotions so you can have more energy, get more done, and feel better every day. Get ready to unlock your intuition and restore your true power as we cover how you can transform your life using crystals and self-awareness. Are you ready to get started? All right, let's go. For those of us who are not yet confident in our intuition when it comes to crystal healing, the chakras are the best jumping off point to get you going and seeing results, achieving the release, the relaxation, the peace and calm you desire. For empathic and HSP women, understanding energy centers like the chakras is advantageous because we're already tending to be more attuned to subtle energies and emotional nuances. By learning about the chakras and their functions, highly sensitive women can gain insights into their own energetic patterns, emotional triggers, and areas of imbalance, giving them a roadmap to follow in their crystal self-healing practice. Now, the chakras may not be familiar to us because we've been raised in Western cultures and traditions, but they do correspond to different aspects of the human experience and development. While I was studying psychology for my undergrad, I was introduced to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is very similar, and it holds many places where the two systems overlap, but I still prefer to use the chakras because they are focused on energy instead of matter. Anyway, no matter which way you want to approach your well-being and self-actualization, having a crystal healing practice that helps you navigate the symptoms and issues that are arising in your life is the way through to realizing the desired end results you're working towards. In this episode, we're going to cover the basics of balancing chakras with crystals and how it can be an integral part of your crystal healing practice, regardless of whether you have prior knowledge of them or not, so you can start experiencing the impact you desire from your crystal self-healing. So, let's start by defining the chakras so we can understand how they relate to us and our ability to create emotional balance, reduce stress, and enhance intuition. Chakras are energy centers mostly located along the spinal column, each associated with different aspects of physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. The 7 main chakras, each corresponding to different aspects of our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, are believed to be spinning wheels of energy that can become imbalanced or blocked, leading to various physical or emotional issues. There are more energy centers than those that we're going to be covering here today, but by starting with the 7 that align with the spinal column, it is a great place to start. So, located at the base of the spine, there is the root chakra. This is associated with stability, security, our survival instincts, and our physical well-being. Next, we have at the lower abdomen, just below the belly button, there is the sacral chakra, and this is associated with emotions, creativity, sensuality, pleasure, and healthy relationships. Positioned just in the upper abdomen, under the rib cage, there is the solar plexus chakra. This is associated with our personal power, self-esteem, our confidence, motivation, and assertiveness. Then we move to the center of the chest, and that is where the heart chakra is located, which is associated with love, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, and harmonious relationships. And we've got a little bit of background noise today. The neighbors are getting a new roof. So as we move on, we have positioned at the throat area, there is the throat chakra. And this is associated with communication, self-expression, authenticity, creativity, and finding your voice. Then between the eyebrows, we have what is known and called as the third eye chakra. This is associated with intuition, insight, inner wisdom, perception, and spiritual awakening. And the last one we're going to be looking at today is located at the top of the head, and this is the crown chakra, which is associated with higher consciousness, enlightenment, spiritual connection, and unity and connection with the universe. The thing that makes the chakras a super easy jumping off point for you to make great progress if you're new to crystal healing, so that you can experience efficacy with your practice, is that once you know the 7 chakras and their basic associations in order to select a supportive crystal, you only need to overlay the rainbow. How simple. So your root chakra would be red, sacral chakra orange, solar plexus yellow, the heart pink or green, the throat is blue, third eye indigo, and the crown chakra is violet. This in and of itself can provide relief for those who are newer to crystal healing or insecure with their intuition, because it removes the guesswork when selecting a crystal to work with. So, when we are healing these energy centers, we are looking to balance the spin or flow of energy within the chakra, and balancing this energy can help regulate mood swings, alleviate emotional turmoil, and promote a sense of inner peace. The same principle that we use when prescribing medication can broadly be applied here, as in, when you're depressed, you are prescribed something that helps to elevate your mood. Or when you're in a heightened state of anxiety, you're prescribed something that soothes your mood. When you're balancing your chakras, you're doing the same type of work, just using crystals and their vibrational state to bring around the energetic change you need or desire. So if you have a blocked chakra, you would want to stimulate the flow of energy. And if you have an overactive chakra, you want to minimize or realign the flow of that energy. Balancing the chakras involves harmonizing the flow of energy through these centers, releasing any blocks, and this can require more than just the application or use of crystals. There is an entire module inside the Crystal Self-Healer member portal dedicated to the chakras, understanding how to identify and remedy imbalances. And when we do the work, we are also focusing on removing any and all resistance that we may be encountering in our journey to achieving and realizing our goals. This includes spiritual, mental, and emotional blocks. For those who hold a desire for something more tangible and scientific about why we would want to balance the chakras, this is where Maslow's hierarchy of needs comes in. Because it's a Western scientifically based theory, obviously the wording is going to differ, but the basic concepts are there and they overlap on multiple levels with the chakras. When the theory was first introduced, there were 5 levels or needs, and they were physiological, safety, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. There have been modifications and additions made over the years by other researchers, and an additional 3 levels have been included. But we're going to stay with the original 5 levels and just recognize how they overlap with the ancient Eastern tradition of the chakras. Physiological needs such as food, water, shelter, and safety, those needs overlap with the root chakra. The need for love and belonging overlap with both the sacral and the heart chakra. The esteem need overlaps with the solar plexus chakra, while the self-actualization need overlaps with the third eye and crown chakras. In Maslow's theory, you can't rise from one level to the next without remedying the need or addressing the lack within that need. A process very similar to, if not the same as, balancing the energy within a given chakra. So let's dive into why balancing chakras is so impactful for empath and highly sensitive women. We know all too well how overwhelm plays out in our lives every day, whether it's too much noise in our surroundings, too much on our to-do list and limited time to get things done, or too many options with a lack of clarity for what to prioritize or focus on. Balancing chakras helps regulate energy flow, reducing overwhelm, and promoting inner calmness and stability. This simple practice empowers you to take agency over your emotional well-being, in turn promoting self-compassion, self-awareness, and inner healing. There is something magical that happens when you start to rely on yourself for answers and direction instead of the patriarchal narratives that perpetuate our dependency on external validation or outside solutions for our emotional wellness. And this directly relates to the common struggle of setting and maintaining healthy boundaries that empath and HSP women experience. Balancing our chakras provides you with a way to address the emotional drain and burnout that so often comes with not having and maintaining healthy boundaries. When you have a practice that encourages you to prioritize your emotional well-being, enhances your self-awareness, you then have the opportunity to practice setting and holding your personal boundaries. Setting and holding these boundaries requires empath and HSP women to also address how they suppress their emotions or the emotions that are seen as negative. Balancing your chakras also supports healthy emotional regulation through identifying and releasing blocked emotions in a way that doesn't create conflict or friction with others. Chakra work fosters a safe space for empath and HSP women to explore and express their emotions authentically without judgment or shame. Last but not least, let's address the struggle of time. When you're busy prioritizing all the things, you will often forgo taking time to address and prioritize your needs. Having a chakra practice facilitates your ability to target the support you need based on the chakra most affected by what is going on around you, or what you're working on, or where you're feeling you need support. What I think is important to recognize here is that none of the practices that I'm sharing with you in these podcast episodes are difficult or hard in and of themselves, but the way we approach them or think about them creates most of the hurdles or blocks that we experience. We get lost in the confusion and overwhelm of thinking we don't know what to do, or that we don't know how to do it, or that we're not doing it right, or that it needs to be more difficult than it is. These roadblocks were what inspired me to create the Crystal Self-Healer Members Portal, because they are what stood in the way when I was going through all my trainings to certify as a crystal healer. While some of what I needed was just to hunker down and do the studying and memorizing of concepts like the chakras, or connecting with the properties a crystal holds, the self-doubt, the worry, the fear, they all came up when it was time to work with or apply the knowledge. And the opportunity to learn how to overcome the thoughts I was entertaining wasn't something covered in that certification program, or the pile of books I had accumulated, or the online videos that I was watching. All these doubts, worries, and fears are normal. It's how our human brain is structured to operate. It's supposed to protect us from injury and harm. And what could be more scary or harmful to us than something we don't know about? So, to get started with balancing your chakras today, this would be where you use the body scan technique I shared with you in the Sensing Energy episode, or to use the priming questions from the healing tray practice covered in the Managing Your Mind with Crystals episode. These two practices give you the opportunity to target what area or chakra you're going to work with. And then you use the principles of crystal healing that were covered in the What is Crystal Healing episode. And remember, you don't need a fancy collection or specific crystals to accomplish most of these things. You can get sets of chakra crystals that are etched with the symbol for each chakra on a corresponding crystal. The value of this is that you are layering intention through the crystal and the etching of the symbol, thereby amplifying the energy. But you can just as easily pick a crystal in the color of the corresponding chakra without it being part of a designated set and still experience profound impact by deciding to become aware of where you want or need to create balance or healing in your life and doing the work to overcome what stands in the way of getting there. If this work, the work of overcoming every way your thinking tells you you're not good enough, or you don't know enough, or you don't have the skills, is something that you are interested in doing, I invite you to book a complimentary discovery call with me to see how joining me inside the Crystal Self-Healer Members Portal could be the thing you need to break free from chaos, ditch the overwhelm, and master your emotions so you can feel better every day. Today's episode has been brought to you by chakra crystals and Maslow's hierarchy of needs. May we all overcome the thoughts and fears that hold us back from satisfying our basic needs as we realize and experience the personal growth through balancing our chakras. Blessed be, my friends. All right, my friends, that wraps up this week's episode. Thank you for joining me here today on the Crystal Self-Healer podcast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, leave a review, and take the What Crystal is Best for You quiz linked in the show notes. Join me again next week as we continue to demystify crystals, how your brain works, and how you can use them so you can have more energy, get more done, and feel better every day.